There is an absence. We don't have any presence from the Waleses. And I suppose I wanted to ask you, A, is that significant? Does that matter that William and Kate aren't around for this big moment? But also, should they be, do you think?
Yeah, they should be. And it does, yeah, it absolutely does matter. It's weird. It shows how thinly spread the senior team in the royal family is now, because it is, as you say, it's the King and the Queen and the Edinburghs are taking part in these engagements. And it is strange that William and Kate aren't there. VE Day in May obviously gets all of the publicity.
Yeah.
But the war in the Pacific, the war in Asia is, the people and the families of those servicemen and women feel it's the forgotten war. And VJ Day doesn't get the same sort of publicity. It didn't get the same sort of publicity here 80 years ago.
No.
And so yes, for the King and the Queen to go to the Arboretum, which I by the way, is a wonderful place.
Yeah,
I thoroughly recommend all sorts of different memorials there. For them to go is significant. For them, as you say, it's during their normal, what would be their normal summer holiday. And for William and Kate not to be in London or somewhere on that day is significant and is strange. I'm surprised we don't have any explanation of.
Are William and Kate Middleton, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, really as hard-working as they seem? This question has been bubbling to the surface of public discourse more and more frequently. The most recent cause for this growing suspicion: their glaring absence at the celebrations marking the 80th anniversary of VJ Day. A day of remembrance, a day of tribute, a day to honour those who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. Yet, William and Kate were nowhere to be found. This wasn't a simple oversight or a scheduling conflict. No, this was a blatant disregard for their public role and responsibilities. A role and responsibilities they accepted when they decided to remain in the royal family. A role that requires them to be present, to be engaged, to be the face of the monarchy at important events. But alas, they were absent. The public's disappointment at their no-show was palpable. People across the nation, and indeed the world, were left wondering, where were William and Kate? Why did they choose not to attend such a significant event? What could possibly be more important than paying their respects to those who fought so bravely for our freedom? These questions have sparked a renewed debate over William and Kate's priorities and work ethic. Criticisms are mounting. Accusations of laziness are being hurled. Their commitment to their duties is being questioned. The couple, who once seemed to be the epitome of dedication, now appear to be more focused on their own personal interests than on fulfilling their royal obligations. In the past, there might have been a benefit of the doubt given. But this isn't a one-off occurrence. This isn't an isolated incident. This is a pattern of absences, a pattern of avoidance, a pattern that is becoming harder and harder to ignore. It seems that William and Kate prefer to remain absent rather than fulfill their royal duties. After all, actions speak louder than words, and their actions are painting a picture of a couple who are more interested in enjoying the perks of royal life than in shouldering the responsibilities that come with it. It's not just the VJ Day, there's a pattern of laziness here, isn't there? This question isn't merely rhetorical, but a mirror held up to the undeniable truth. A truth that is slowly but surely seeping into the public consciousness. Look beyond the isolated incidents and the pattern is unmistakable. Frequent absences and a curious penchant for taking time off, even during significant events. But let's be clear here, this isn't about missing a single event or two. This is about a consistent disregard for their public role that's becoming all too apparent. Consider, for example, their absence from the Commonwealth Day service, one of the significant annual events in the royal calendar, or their no-show at the London Marathon, a major sporting event that the royal family traditionally supports. And then there's their love for vacations, the ski trips to the Alps, the sun-soaked getaways to the Caribbean, the jaunts to their country home in Norfolk, all while their royal duties get relegated to the back burner. The question that arises is, are these simply breaks from a demanding schedule, or are they symptomatic of a deeper apathy towards their roles? Remember, this is not about begrudging them their downtime. Everyone deserves a break. But when the break becomes the norm and the work the exception, that's when eyebrows start to rise. That's when questions start to be asked. That's when the pattern becomes visible. The problem isn't just their absence. It's the message that this absence sends. It's the perception it creates. The perception that they are more interested in the perks of their positions than the responsibilities that come with them. And so the pattern of laziness emerges, not from a single instance, but from a series of them, from a habitual disregard for their duties and a preference for the high life. Clearly, William and Kate prefer the pleasures of the high life over the burdens of their royal responsibilities. It's not an accusation, but an observation. An observation that is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. But what is the true cost of William and Kate's laziness, you might ask? As it turns out, their lackadaisical approach to royal duties has far-reaching consequences, not just for them, but for the entire nation. Firstly, let's talk about the financial implications. Every event that William and Kate miss is an event that's been funded, in part, by the British taxpayer. When they choose not to attend, that's money that's essentially been wasted. Just think about it. The planning, the security arrangements, the venue, these all come with a hefty price tag. And when William and Kate don't show up, it's like throwing a party and the guests of honour deciding they can't be bothered to attend. Now on to the cost to the monarchy's reputation. The British monarchy is an institution steeped in tradition and duty. When William and Kate repeatedly skip out on events, it sends a message to the public that they are not committed to upholding these traditions. This can lead to a decline in public support for the monarchy, which is already a contentious issue in Britain. Moreover, every time William and Kate fail to show up, they're passing up an opportunity to engage with the public, to show empathy and understanding, to demonstrate that they are more than just figureheads. These missed opportunities can further erode the public's perception of them and of the monarchy as a whole. And let's not forget the impact on their fellow royals. When William and Kate are absent, other members of the royal family have to pick up the slack. This can lead to resentment and tension within the family, further destabilizing an institution that relies on unity and cooperation. In conclusion, the cost of William and Kate's laziness is not just a personal one. It's a cost borne by the British taxpayer, by the monarchy's reputation, and by their fellow royals. The price of their laziness is not just paid by them, but by the entire nation. Even the most ardent monarchists are finding it hard to defend William and Kate. These words echo across the British Isles as the once sterling reputation of the royal couple takes hit after hit. The shining armour of the monarchy seems to be tarnishing in the face of William and Kate's continued absence from public events and perceived lack of commitment to their royal duties. It's not just the critics who are voicing their discontent. An increasing number of the very monarchists who once defended and lauded William and Kate are now expressing their disillusionment. The whispers of dissatisfaction are growing louder and louder, turning into a chorus of disappointment that echoes in the halls of the monarchy. Media outlets, once filled with glowing tributes to the couple, now feature headlines highlighting their frequent absences and perceived laziness. The public sentiment, too, is shifting. Social media platforms are abuzz with discussions about their lack of dedication. Hashtags that were once filled with admiration now carry a tone of critique. There's a growing sense that William and Kate are not living up to the expectations that come with their royal status. This isn't just about missed events or lack of public appearances. It's about a perceived lack of commitment to the role they assumed when they entered into the royal family. It's about the promise they made to the people of Britain and the world, a promise that many feel is being broken. Even the most fervent monarchists, those who have always stood by William and Kate, are finding it harder and harder to defend the couple. Their love for the monarchy has been put to the test. Some have been left questioning whether the couple's actions, or lack thereof, are befitting of their royal status. The question remains, can the monarchy weather this storm of criticism? Or will William and Kate's perceived lack of commitment lead to a further erosion of public support for the royal institution? Even those who once defended them are now questioning their commitment to their royal duties. As the tide of public opinion continues to turn, it's clear that these are testing times for the monarchy and indeed for William and Kate themselves. What does this mean for the monarchy? Can it survive the laziness of William and Kate? As we navigate the complexities of this question, we're compelled to consider the potential ramifications of William and Kate's persistent absence from their royal duties. The monarchy, a centuries-old institution, is not impervious to the actions, or rather the inactions, of those at its helm. The monarchy is not just about ribbon-cutting ceremonies or grand state dinners. It's about providing a sense of continuity and stability for a nation. When two of its prominent members consistently fail to show up, it sends a message of disregard, not just for the institution they represent, but for the people they are meant to serve. The absence of William and Kate from major events, such as the 80th anniversary of VJ Day, is not just a matter of etiquette. It's a matter of respect, duty, and responsibility. Their continual absence could potentially lead to a constitutional crisis, putting the monarchy's future into question. In a constitutional monarchy, the sovereign's role is largely ceremonial, but it is still crucial. The monarch is a symbol of unity and continuity. A monarch, or future monarch, who is perceived as lazy or disinterested, could potentially undermine the very institution they are meant to uphold. The public's perception of the monarchy is largely influenced by the actions of its members. If William and Kate continue to shirk their responsibilities, public opinion may turn against the monarchy. This could lead to discussions about its relevance in the 21st century, and potentially even calls for its abolition. The monarchy is facing a crisis of legitimacy, and much of it can be traced back to the laziness of William and Kate. If they continue on this path, the consequences could be severe, not just for them, but for the entire institution they represent. They must remember that the privilege of their position comes with a responsibility to serve and to lead. The monarchy is facing a crisis of legitimacy, and much of it can be traced back to the laziness of William and Kate.